Okay, so I played a game of Warhammer Fantasy the other day against Matt. It was just a little 2400 point tester game. Matt's just started his Dark Elves, so he was sort of taking what he had to date. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of time on the day to actually put together an army list, so I am running my tournament list, which could be a little bit harsh for Matt, seeing as, like I say, he's just taken more a case of what he's got than what he'd like to field, I suppose. So my spells for this game were, I basically had two mages. I had a level 2 on high and I had a level 4 on high, and my spells were, for the level 2 I had Apotheosis and Drain Magic, and on the level 4 I got Fiery Convocation, Arcane Unforging, Hand of Glory and Soul Quench. So firstly, with the Dark Elf deployment, Matt's got, from left to right, he's got 5 Dark Riders who are actually out of shot on this, on the extreme left of the field. He's got 24 Executioners, 5 Cold Ones, and in that unit he's got 4 characters who are combat characters, one of them being a Dreadlord, I believe, and then he's got his level 4 in there as well, who's running Lore of Beasts. Now when he said that he was taking Lore of Beasts, I wasn't really convinced with that lore on this army. And for spells, I know he had Amber Spear and Curse of Anra here, but I don't think anything else was really used in this game, so I can't remember what the other 2 spells he had. He then had a unit of 28 Corsairs, 5 more Dark Riders, 5 Warlocks and a Bolt Thrower. So my army from left to right, I had 3 Bolt Throwers on the hill, 5 Reavers with bows and spears, a Frostheart Phoenix, 15 Archers with a Musician, and then I had it was 27 Phoenix Guard, full command, Banner of the World Dragon, and in there I had my level 4 Archmage with the Book of Hoth and the Talisman of Preservation. I then have 15 Silver Helms and with full command, and in there I've got my level 2 who's got the Dispel Scroll and Kane's Ring of Fury, and I've then got my Noble BSB who's got the Enchanted Shield and Dawnstone. And then to the right flank I've got both my Great Eagles and 5 more Illyrian Reavers with bows and spears. So after Vanguards, I have moved my left Reavers up, and his Dark Riders have moved across towards the main battle line a little bit more, because I think primarily I've got the Bolt Throwers up on the hills and they've not really got a target now apart from those guys, so they've just got to get out of there really. And then on the right hand side my Reavers have moved across to the left and his Dark Riders have moved up a little bit. He's being quite cautious, trying to prevent charges and whatnot. So he gets the first turn and his Dark Riders zip up behind my lines, and then the rest of his army just moves up. Cavalry bus staying cautious and his Corsairs move close to the building. Over to the left his Executioners have moved up, again keeping some distance from my battle line, and his other Dark Riders move over to this side of the forest. He casts Curse of Anra here on my Silver Helms, which I let go as I don't really intend to move with those guys. I can get away without doing that at this stage. And then he tries to Doom Bolt the Eagle, which I stop. In the shooting phase his Repeater Bolt Thrower hits an eagle, the front eagle, wounds him for 1 wound. And then onto my turn 1, I zip my Reavers up to get line of sight on his Executioners and tempt them with a charge, to which I'd probably flee or depending where I needed them to go really. And 1 eagle goes flying up towards the Bolt Throwers, staying out of line of sight of his other stuff, and my other eagle moves across, sitting 9 inches from his cavalry bus, just to basically delay him for a turn or 2 with a possible flee or whatever. The Phoenix moves up on the left to take that flank, seeing as all his fast cav and everything's moved over, so I've got that side of the field. And in the magic phase I cast Fiery Convocation on his Executioners, which didn't go off with irresistible force. It was cast on something really high, like a 34, with obviously my level and the +1 to cast high, and it kills a load of that unit. Really takes that unit down to size. My fast cav had actually moved up over on this side behind his Dark Riders, and they shot and killed one of those guys. And in the shooting I kill some more executioners with my Illyrian Reavers, and the bolt throwers just shooting through the soft cover there. And then onto his turn, his cavalry bus has charged my eagle, and I fled, but I only rolled 3 on dice, so he elected to complete the charge. So now I'm looking at a nice flank on that unit with my silver helms. But you know, it wasn't to be really, as his executioners charged my reavers and I fled. Now really it's a little bit of a silly move here, because I've basically just blocked my silver helms from the flank charge on his cavalry bus, and you know, if my reavers had did a stand and shoot there, I probably would have killed 1 or 2 guys coming in, and then I've got my always strikes first, obviously, as does he. But I'm not going to be losing my attack, so you know, the likelihood is I'm just going to wipe that unit. Even if I stood there, I might end up with 2 or 3 guys left or so, but you know, then it'd be on my turn and I can zip them around and do stuff. So that was a really dumb move. I just sort of instinctively fled it and didn't really look at where they was going to run to. And his Corsairs in the remaining moves moved into the building, and his Dark Riders made it round behind my Reavers again, so they're just sitting behind them. And over on this side, his Warlocks also moved up, just getting themselves set for various doom bolts and whatever else. And in the magic phase, his executioners die to fiery convocation, so that's got rid of those guys. And in his magic phase, I basically shut his phase down. He didn't have many dice, and I just stopped everything that he tried to cast. And his bolt thrower on the hill finishes off the eagle to get rid of that threat. And in the shooting phase, his Dark Riders kill 1 of my Illyrian Reavers. And it's on to High Elf turn 2. So in my turn, my Illyrian Reavers rally, and they zipped up round the other side of his cavalry bus. My line reforms up basically to face across to where he is, and my other Illyrian Reavers, they've got fed up of playing chase with the other fast cavs, so they've jumped up down to that side. When I was actually looking at this, I did actually put my Reavers in what I considered an optimum position with regards to charge arcs and baiting things into places I want them to go, but I did realise that my Reavers were basically railroading his cavalry bus, so I didn't really sort of think that was particularly fair play. So I put them here, probably not an optimal position, because obviously, you know, now I'm looking at it, 1 Reaver's unit is going to get flank charge off of those Dark Riders, then also it's got the Corsairs coming out the building, possibly, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, not the best positioning really, but I was sort of like trying to play in the interest of fairness really. In the magic phase, I cast Soul Quench, which kills 2 Cold One Knights, and I had miscast, and I lose 2 Phoenix Guard to that and a couple of power dice. Then the second Soul Quench from Kane's Ring goes through and kills another one, and then nothing else happens on my turn. And onto his turn, the Corsairs charge out of the building into the Reavers, as I sort of realised they was going to do, and also his Dark Riders go into the flank of the Reavers. And his Cold One Knights reformed up just to face at my lines, basically. His Dark Riders have moved up and sat along the board edge, and his Warlocks also formed up to one side of the cavalry bus, looking at my lines. In the magic phase, he tries a Amber Spear against my Phoenix Guard, but with all the 3-up saves from the Shield of Safari, that's not a problem to make my save and not lose any guys. And in combat, he kills 4 Reavers, and I kill 1 Dark Rider back and then the one guy that I've got left, he flees from combat, and both of his units restrain and form up, and the Illyrian Reaver, fortunately for him, has fled basically in front of his cold ones, which are going to block, you know, any sort of decent charge there that I can put at him. So in my turn, I then, rather than go for the big block now, considering that I'm not going to get many models into contact with him, particularly, you know, wanting to get the cavalry bus and the Phoenix in there, I decided to charge my Phoenix Guard into his Dark Riders along with the Phoenix, and I then put my Silver Helms into the Warlocks, and my Illyrian Reavers pretty much stay put, or in fact they jump over to the other side of where the Silver Helms are currently fighting. And in the magic phase, I put Fiery Convocation into the Corsairs, and this goes off irresistibly, and that just halves the unit. In the shooting phase, my Reavers knock off another one of the Dark Riders, and in close combat, my Silver Helms take out 4 Warlocks, and they actually take 2 guys back. I think they might have had poisoned attacks or something, and he rolled really quite well for that, and then I just rolled poorly for my saves. So yeah, he knocked back a couple of guys, and they flee off the board, and I elect to reform up with my Silver Helms as opposed to chase, because, you know, I sort of figured they was going to go off the board. And then in the Phoenix Guard combat, they obviously wipe out those Dark Riders, and those guys also reform up to look at the building where the Corsairs are in. And onto his turn, his cavalry bus forms up to face at my Silver Helms, and in the magic phase he forgets to or he fails to dispel Fiery Convocation, and the unit's wiped out, obviously being in the building, doubling the wounds, what have you. Yeah, they didn't like that. And then in the magic phase, I put Hand of Glory on the Illyrian Reavers to increase their ballistic skill, in the hope to wipe that unit of 3 Dark Riders that are remaining, but they failed to do so. They didn't actually kill any, I don't think. And I'll also, from this shot, you can see in the movement phase, I basically marched my Silver Helms out of line of sight of his unit, because I'm just trying to line everyone up to get the right charge that I want really on that unit. I also, in the magic phase on this turn, I cast Arcane Unforging on his BSB, and it wounded him, but it didn't destroy any magic items he had. And in his turn, he backs his cold ones to the corner of the board, and he shoots at my Phoenix with a bolt thrower, doing 3 wounds. And in my turn, I line all my stuff up again, ready to get the last turn charge off, whatever I want to put in at him really. I cast Soul Quench, which kills 2 more guys, and then I Arcane Unforge the BSB, taking his last wound and killing him. And then in his turn, because obviously he's run off towards the edge of the board there, he's turned up to face at me, and his bolt thrower failed to wound the Phoenix here, and he tried out Amber Spear, which killed a Silver Helm. And then onto my turn, I charged the Silver Helms into his cavalry bus and the Phoenix, and in the magic phase I get off Hand of Glory to the Silver Helms for their initiative, so that I get my All Strikes First rerolls and get rid of his, and also it means that my character will be striking at the same initiative as his Dreadlord, or in fact I think my unit will be striking at the same initiative as his Dreadlord. And then I cast Apotheosis on the Phoenix, which gains 1 wound, so they've now got 2 points on the Shield of Safari, so on a 5-up ward on that Silver Helm unit. And in combat I don't lose anything, and I finish off the Cold One unit for those points, and 1 Master as well, so it leaves him with the Dreadlord and 2 Masters, and that's how the game ends. So the final result of this game was a 17-3 to me. I think that's what it came out, but obviously it depends how you transpose the 20-0 system, but you know, it's about 20-0. It's about 17-3 to me, because obviously he's got his bolt thrower, the Dreadlord, and the Masters left. There's a few points in that. And I mean, it was a good fun game. Obviously, you know, Matt's list was less than optimal, because as I said, he's taking what he had, and to be honest, I was putting out my tournament list that I've been fielding recently, and that's just purely because they were there ready to go. I didn't have to write a new list. The only thing I did change up was my level 1 mage became a level 2, and I mounted him up, and for the points that I spent doing that, I just dropped a few Phoenix Guard, because you know, I've been taking 30 Phoenix Guard in the unit, and they rarely get below like 26, 25 guys, so the unit doesn't need to be as big as it is. So that was the only change I made, just because I wanted to take a second level 2 of high on the steed, just to try that out. So that was it. Yeah, so as I say, good game, and catch you on the next one.